3, 2, 1, you're back in the room with Dave Crane. I myself...
Did you have to go there?
I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist it, Little Britain reference there. And I myself was hypnotised on stage by a guy called Nigel Ellery, long time ago, and found to my astonishment, and more to the astonishment of my wife and other people, that I'm a prime candidate, and would eat an onion thinking it was an apple, performed an amazing ballet routine, a kickboxing show, and was invited actually back to this venue, which was the Captain's Table in the old Dubai Marine Hotel, for all you oldies out there, to get up on stage several more times. And now this is one aspect. We'll quickly talk about that aspect of what you do, because it's pure entertainment. And yet it's entertainment that in some quarters has become a little bit discredited in the West. So why are you doing that show?
Well, the same things go into doing it as an entertainment show as going into motivation. It's the same techniques you use for hypnosis and getting people into that state of mind. And you just talked there about kickboxing, eating an onion instead of an apple, and being a ballet dancer, which is entertaining for the audience, and for you it's liberating in many ways. I'm sure when you go home you can do that in the privacy of your own home and have fun. But if you are doing the same, if you are able to become the world's greatest kickboxer or a great ballerina, what's to stop you being a happy, successful person in any aspect of your life? It's the same mindset change that goes into it. So when you're going on stage and performing all these fun things, the same techniques are used for channeling you into being what you truly want to be.
But just stick with the stage act for a minute, because, I mean, let's define this. I mean, some people say, yes, it's very funny, but it's funny actually at the expense of other people, surely, and therefore it can be not so funny, probably.
Well, I've been doing it now for about 7 years, and I don't allow anyone to lose face at all. No routine is made to make anybody embarrassed. I don't ask anybody embarrassing questions. I don't do anything apart from make people look great. And when they come off stage, they feel great because they had a wonderful experience, and they come back again, and they experience it again because it's great fun.
I mean, I've seen the YouTube, and on, I think, is it on this too?
It's not on there,
but
on
there, but I've
clips,
seen YouTube clips of you performing, and it is very, very funny, and it seems very authentic. I mean, it's not a low-level show. I mean, people talking Martian, for example, that's the hysterical one. You've got a group of 10 people all talking what they think is Martian, and in some ways imitating one another. How do you get people to do that?
They remember that I don't actually hypnotize anybody. What happens is they hypnotize themselves.
So you're a facilitator?
Facilitator. It's a big difference. I mean, you can hypnotize people anyway, but we're always in a state of hypnosis. The people watching this show now are glued to the telly. That being glued to the telly is a form of hypnosis. That's why putting on adverts during the breaks is done, because they're in a trance state.
And you make the point, too, that you could be driving along a long, boring road. You're perhaps getting into a little bit of a hypnotic state, listening to music.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody who's driven home and suddenly got home and gone, oh, I'm home now. That's road hypnosis. An hour journey might only have 5 minutes that you can remember.
What about the appropriateness in this market of having an Indian lady in her national costume next to a Lebanese guy, and you suggest to them that there's a lot of love in the room, and they kind of end up cuddling one another? Do you think that's appropriate for a stage act?
For the stage show, I've been doing it now for 7 years. I've never had a single complaint apart from yours now.
I'm not complaining.
And also...
Hey, come on, Dave, I'm on board. I'm a subject.
Everyone's a volunteer.
Yeah.
You know,
They're a
everybody comes
volunteer.
when they choose to do it. I don't force anybody to do it. I'm very... My aim is to grow the whole technology of mind software, which effectively that's what this is. If I was to do stuff that was making people embarrassed, which is what you're talking about, a lot has happened in the West. If you go to Vegas, where I trained, the aim is to push it out as far as you can go to make people do astonishing things that they'd be embarrassed about. That's not the point. My point is to get people to love it and enjoy the whole experience.
Also, the famous quantum physicist, Richard Feynman, said that from his experience, what you were actually doing as a subject was just out of embarrassment going along with it. You're going along with the instructions, and you were, in fact, not in any form of hypnotic state. I'm not sure I subscribe to that myself.
What about you, then? Is that
No, I don't know. But all I know is
that what you did? You went along with it?
But you could argue that maybe people who get these kind of television shows and do what I've done here in other fields, you know, are natural extroverts. So this is the problem I have. Look, I buy into it, and I must say that I've seen it. It's very funny. By the way, you can go online to I Want Dave, dot.com.
Or thelifedesigners.com.
Or thelifedesigners.com.
Yeah.
Thelifedesigners.com. It's worth watching. It's very, very funny. Finally, let's talk a little bit, just a couple of minutes, about then how you use hypnosis as hypnotherapy. Can you stop people smoking?
Absolutely.
Can you stop? How do you do it?
You basically, I mean, it's all about the subconscious mind. If you think about your mind as being like an iceberg, where this part here is your conscious mind. This is a bit above the surface. That's the water, and that's a bit below the surface, your subconscious mind. That's the bit that I deal with. In there is your senses, your imagination, your long-term memory, your habits, your belief, your emotions, everything that's below the surface. When somebody's in hypnosis, that changes around, and this comes to the top. So literally when doing a stage show, I tap into their imagination to create these images and things we're talking about. That's below the surface. So when he talks about, for instance, is it extroverts? I actually find it's introverts that tend to be the great subjects, because when they're in hypnosis, what they have deep inside is allowed to come out to play. And so you get a real change. And that's what makes it so fascinating, because people watch it and they say, that must be real, because he would never do that in real life. So when we go into the technology side of stopping somebody smoking, what happens is actually deep inside that part of the subconscious mind is your habits. So smoking is a habit. If somebody smokes 20 times a day, they don't think about it. They just can maybe remember 3 of the cigarettes that they had. And it's only when the packet's empty they remember it's time to get a new packet. So what you do is they take a break when they have a cigarette. So you talk to the part that makes them take a break, and you take out the cigarette part of it, and you put something else in that's more healthy, like a glass of water, or wanting stimulation and success in life, or something that they can use as a substitute, a permanent substitute for that cigarette.
Well, I think this is a very detailed and complex topic, and we could go on and on talking about this. I think the best thing is probably for people, if they really want to give up smoking, lose weight, is to come and see you, Dave Crane. And in the meantime, thanks very much for coming in, telling us a little bit about how you designed your life and how you can potentially design others. Dave Crane, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all for today's show. Don't forget iwantdave.com. It's very interesting, some great clips, and also on YouTube, just type in Dave Crane and you'll find them. It's very funny stuff. And that's all for me for this week. Don't forget, we're on twice a week, and you can watch the entire archive of Face to Face on johndakin.com. Till next time we meet, however, from me and the entire team, it's goodbye.